Welcome to lesson 7, example number 3, and it is asking us, it says for the connection in example 2, which is what we just did, hopefully last video, what is the allowable load P if 1-inch diameter bolts conforming to ASTM 307 common bolts are used? So here is exactly what I started with last time, and here we are. It said 1-inch diameter bolts, which we used, but it says ASTM. Let's cancel this out and let's put A307. Well, there we go, and I'm assuming everything else is the same, so let's do that. And then I want to do the same type of thing. You want to go to table 1-D shear, because we're taking a look at the bolts. And remember those the plates, it doesn't say there's any difference in the plates. So if we go back, actually I didn't write it down, but our plate capacity equaled, it was, what was it? Shoot, 104.4. And that's how much our max plate capacity was. Alright, so now we need to go back and we need to figure out what our bolt capacity, our new bolt capacity is. Remember, we have two 1-inch diameter bolts, ASTM A307. So we go to table 1-D, go down the bolts, we go up to A307, and we say that NSL is the same thing as what we want. It's required for bearing type connection, so we're assuming we still have a bearing type connection. And then we go over to 1-inch diameter, it's 15.7. And I'm going to put bolt capacity. 15.7 kips. Sorry about that. Times 2 equals 31.4 kips. Off the top of my head, I hope my math is right. And since this is actually incredibly lower than this. If you compare those two, which one controls, and it's going to be our lower, since capacity is, we want the higher capacity, the higher you can do this. So the lower capacity, the lower it is. So the lower is going to control, which I like to always do this. Sometimes you'll be going back through your calcs and you'll look at stuff and like, oh shoot, where did I get this? And if you put controls, and sometimes you could some people put DNC. So you're going to have these, you're saying, oh, here's my capacity, but then you're not using it, so this will let people know, hey, this does not control, and they can go look for what does control. And if you put up here, this obviously means does not control. Alright, so that's our answer. That went incredibly fast, and I hope that makes sense. You can see that A307 is not as strong as A325, but since we went incredibly fast on that, I want to go ahead and do one real quick exercise here and say, okay, well, what happens, and I think this may have been a better exercise than what we just did, but go use A490 bolts. What would happen if we used A490 bolts? So let's do that down here. A490 bolt. Whoops, ain't good enough. This is not a spelling test. Equals. Alright, now let's go to A490 bolts, A490X NSL. We go over to 1-inch diameter, 62.8 capacity. Kips per bolt times 2 bolts equals what? 130. Whoa, I'm messing up on the top of my head. That's 125.6 I have in my head, but let's go ahead and do it on the calculator. 125.6. 125.6 kips. And if you check these out, which one controls? Now, this controls, and this does not control. So as you can see, it depends on what type of bolt. I think the most economical type of bolt, well, depends what you're using. If you find out that, hey, my cost between A490 bolts and A307 bolts are about the same, and you can still get by with using A325 bolts, then use A325 bolts. But as you can see, you can, if you want to max out your plate capacity, you just go to A490 bolts. All right, I hope that was something that was useful. Take another look at that. All right, I will see you on the next video.